So there are some, you can get the emojis basically from this little deal here. Let me see if I can't
Nice.
drag this into.
And you did that by
Oh
clicking the. Is
no.
that a poop emoji? I can't quite see.
I think it's like, what is this?
Looks
What
like
is
a Hershey kiss
this?
or the poop emoji. Oh no, you gotta zoom in. Is that a
No,
turkey?
I don't think it's a
There's no
turkey.
hover on it. It's not ARIA compliant.
Let's take a look.
We're going deep. We're opening the dev console, people. We must know what this
Where'd it go?
emoji is.
There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, what is this supposed to be? Party in Slack like it's $14.99 is the Aria label. I
Okay.
don't know what this is, but that's awesome.
Hey Shopify developers, this one's for you. When's the last time you actually took a real break? The kind where you don't have to check support queries on your phone every few minutes. There's a team that's making that possible, the Support Heroes. Since 2020, they've supported over 100 Shopify apps across 40 plus developers, earning a reputation as the leading outsourced customer support service for Shopify apps. Their team works 24/7, 365 days a year to deliver real empathy and real expertise. They do this so developers can focus on building, growing, or honestly just getting some well-deserved rest. If you're already feeling stretched thin or tied up in support queries, this is the perfect moment to plan ahead. Let the Support Heroes take support off your plate so you can unplug, recharge, and spend that time with family instead of your inbox during the holiday season.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting edition of the Liquid Weekly podcast. I'm your host, Karl, and with me as always is Taylor Page, co-host. Amazing, love your hat. Taylor, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Karl, and thank you. This is from the Shopify Supply Shop, so I think I've worn it before. Maybe, I don't know. So
Looking very nice.
thanks, buddy. I'm just trying to stay warm. It's so cold here now.
Not compared to what's coming. You saw the forecast, right?
I did see the forecast. I know, but it's already cold. I don't know if it's old age or whatever it is. Just the cold hits me differently now, man. I'm in my mid-30s, and apparently I used to be able to not be bothered at all by cold, and now it's just I can feel it in my bones, you know. So it's just different, you know.
Oh, that old football injury, right?
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Do you have an old football injury? I know you played football. Were you injured?
Oh man, loads of injuries, but I think the worst one was just discovering kind of later. They make you watch all these like concussion videos when you're in high school, but like you're a dumb teenager who thinks they're invincible, or at least I was. And so like you don't really actually pay attention or understand that that's what this is. But I remember watching film in lots of games. I was a defensive tackle, so I was, you know, lineman in the trenches, all this other stuff. And I remember watching film the next morning at games and coaches being like, "Oh, good job," you know, or whatever kind of type thing. And I'd be like, "I don't remember any of this. Like, I don't remember." And so years later, I'm like, "Oh, I probably had multiple concussions and all this other stuff." So that's probably the most substantial. I tore my rotator cuff, you know, and all that other stuff, but I never had like a bone breakage or anything like that. So I was pretty fortunate. I've got good knees. You know, a lot of us hefties, we struggle with knee problems, but you know, my knees are still good. So very fortunate in that regard. Nice
I'm
little
glad to
side
hear that.
tangent, huh?
And no, that's good. You know, it's hard to think about other people. We tend to all trend towards narcissism. I'm a little hurt that you did not say anything about my new glasses. I know that you had that super duper eye surgery. You don't need glasses
Oh,
anymore, and you're like a
I
bionic
just
man.
well,
But
I can
oh
barely
well,
see them. It just seems so natural. They look
that,
so good
that's
on your
that's
face, you
the
know?
nice thing.
That's
Yeah,
what it is.
see, they're
Yeah,
from
look at
Google
that.
goggles for you. Yeah, nice.
Goggles for
I don't
you.
like them.
Oh,
I
you
think
don't like
it's
them?
goggles. They're okay. I'd rather have super eyes like you, but it's fine.
Well, yeah. Do you normally get them from what was the? I used to get my glasses from a place called Zenny Optical. They were super
I've
cheap.
tried all of them. Yeah,
Ah, you've tried all of them. Yes, you are. Of course. Yeah, you've done all the things.
I'm just
And you're
shopping
not
for the
happy with
best
goggles
deals.
for you. Who's got the
No,
best?
I just kind of panicked and picked some frames. It's not their fault. It's probably the frames I picked.
Gotcha. The benefit of sometimes being able to actually go in and try stuff on, because even all the ones that are, you know, augmented reality, like, oh, take a picture of your face, and like we're gonna put them on. And you're like, okay, like think that looks good, but then you actually get them. And you're like, this was not at all what I saw, or maybe I was just in a very different state of mind, and I don't know. I don't like these now.
Well, people have probably gotten a lot of us this week because we had a special episode that just came out, which I'm sure you've all listened to. We have all the excitement of Winter Editions, and we decided that we needed a moment just to take a step back and kind of reflect ourselves over what we've seen and share some of the thoughts we had around this. And so I'm excited to dive into that with you today and get into the Shopify goodness, because it was a pretty spectacular presentation they pulled together there. A lot of
spectacular presentation is good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some screen sharing. I think while we're scrolling through this, because I know we have a lot of people that are, they obviously, listening. A lot of people, and so a lot of people, all some people. I think like anything over 5, we can say a lot. Listen, you say that, Karl, but I did share that with you. We got a little badge or award email thing. I don't know. I'm waiting for our actual physical trophy, Spotify, where we were like a top listened to podcast, which is pretty bizarre, right?
Makes no sense.
Well,
it's an AI hallucination, Taylor, is what that is.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like we've got pictures. We'll post some stuff about this or what have you. I still haven't figured out a good way to package this, right?
No, okay, you're right. We're in the big time.
We were a rising star 2025 marathon show, and then a 2025 most shared show. So maybe not most listened. It was one of those where people listened to our show more, and I think probably part of that is just like the length of the show, right? Like a lot of like these other podcasts are probably like quick little 5-minute, 15-minute ordeals, and we're marathoning it. So devs are listening to this on their way to work or something, or Prakar's listening there, just like being a champion, like all through his 8.5-hour workouts. That I'm always trying to catch up with him on Strava, and so shout out to everybody and thank you because we got a nice little email from Spotify. I don't know that anything comes out of that, but it was nice to get the email, right?
Yeah. No, it was nice. You're right. I should be more positive about our podcast. I try to be humble.
Be more positive, Karl. I say that to you all the time. I don't really. But anyways, so I'm sharing the screen. So we've got people that do listen out of the handful of listeners that we have, and so I would recommend you definitely check out the Edition site if you haven't yet, or feel free obviously to watch this on YouTube or Spotify. But so they just have so much cool stuff happening here. You have to experience this on desktop even, because like you're moving this around. They've got this like 3D effect, and it's not even parallax, right? Like it's this like really cool effect that they've got going on. I was trying to get, what's that now?
Well, and it's fast too. Like loading it was fast and everything. It's not just that they have this cool effect, but it was like,
yeah.
Guess the intro when you first load the page, that little thing. Yeah, guess the stack. Oh, it's obviously Rails.
It's obviously Rails. It is unfortunately not Rails. So that was the one thing I asked the team that was behind this. They were posting about this on socials, and so I was like, "Hey, like, is there anything like you want us to talk about?" And obviously they're just like, "Well, it's built, on Hydrogen." So there you go. So it's Remix. Shopify's Hydrogen, and I'm assuming hosted on Oxygen. That makes sense, right? So, but sorry, not Rails, Karl. But still. All this is amazing and beautiful and very cool. So it's possible for them to build something great without that, right? Without Rails.
It's possible, but would you? Should you? These are the questions we
think how much
as a
better
society
it could have been.
With. That's right.
So, all right. So they've got these handful of like really great little things here. They've got this theme, right? And it's called the RenAIssance edition. They've got the AI there in Renaissance. Like these folks are just so clever. Like that is so smart. Obviously, like really heavily influenced by AI here. And I know some devs are just sick and tired of hearing about AI everything.
Yes.
But like we are kind of in this cool period where like AI has exploded and is a very cool tool that we can use. And so there's obviously, I think there's a difference between, right? There's the hype marketing AI people that are just like vibe code all the things. And then there's those of us that are using AI as a tool every day to help, further things along. Shopify is obviously very bought into AI, as we'll see even more so here. We talked to Eitan about that too, and so I makes sense that they're doing this with a really cool theme. So they've got like these nice little Roman numerals even too, with this RenAIssance edition, RenAIssance. I'm not sure how to say this if you're supposed to say it that way, but they do have a video that they did as well that we'll post, where some folks from leadership popped on there and talked about all these updates. So we'll make sure that's in the show notes. And so, but if you scroll down here, so we're on desktop. So if you start to scroll, like it has just like these crazy cool like animations here. Little kick flip
Oh,
on
that is
the
cool.
on the skateboard here, and then they've got this like, I don't know, burning sunlight effect here kind of type thing that you scroll into space. Just it's really super impressive. This just like looks super cool. Even this guy's like
That
blinking,
thing just blinked. Yeah, it's looking
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Do you think these
right?
are real people at Shopify? They model these after?
Yeah, they modeled these
Like
after. So I did see that they used like Midjourney for some of the artwork and stuff in here as well. So I'm curious. I'm really interested to hear about, and if they do come out with a full thread before this gets posted, we'll make sure to include that or whatever. But the team that designed and built this or whatever has talked a little bit about it. They just haven't posted anything specific to it quite yet, at least at the time of this recording.
Why do I get the feeling that if we looked hard enough, we would probably find Harshdeep's face in here somewhere?
He's got to be in
It's
here.
just a intuition. I don't know. Maybe. Just a feeling.
Right. So we'll continue to scroll. It's, first it kicks off just talking about Sidekick, obviously like really amazing stuff. So some of this stuff is really neat where they're going to be talking about like Sidekick Pulse here, where you're going to get personalized recommendations for helping improve your business. So that's really neat. That's helpful for merchants. I think that there's going to be a lot of value in there. Smart for them too, because, for the merchants that aren't using Sidekick quite yet, this is going to help surface that even more, which, when we talked to Eitan, I think that was part of one of your questions, I think, when you were asking about like, hey, is there going to be some like merchant communication here? So that way people know they can use Sidekick to actually access information about their app and stuff when we're looking at like Sidekick app extensions. And I think this is part of that, right? Because like now you're going to get very actionable data that's going to be surfaced right here about things that they can be doing in their shop, like direct from Sidekick. And so I think it's going to be helpful. Like the more people learn to use Sidekick, those different use cases, they'll start to see it as a tool that they can use on the regular as well. So
yeah,
this is
honestly,
something.
as an app developer, that was one of the things I was most excited about, was thinking of cool new workflows that would be able to have because of Sidekick and the app integrations.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Now, the other thing that people were worried about from the app devs after seeing all these cool things, oh no, Sidekick can actually generate apps for merchants. And so people were, oh no, like my app is going to be gone. So this is just like every other phase I think that we've seen in Shopify where people are like, oh, this is going to kill off my app, or this is going to whatever. I think this is going to be a lot of low-hanging fruit. We talked to Mohammed from Gadget about this as well, with how they're using AI to build apps for merchants and stuff like this. There's going to be a lot of small apps that nobody would build, like from a public-facing standpoint or from a services-based standpoint, that AI is just going to be able to handle for merchants. And so this is going to be really cool because you can start getting into the more complex use cases that end up being really valuable for a wider array of merchants. So, I played around with this a little bit. I don't know if you've had the chance to quite yet. So interestingly enough, it's not available in basic Shopify plans, right? It is available on Grow and Up. So you have to have like what used to be called the Shopify, so like the standard Shopify plan. So Grow, Advanced, and Plus all have this capable, but if you're on the basic plan, you don't actually have access to this. So if you have a dev shop, you can go ahead and spin this up out of your dev stores and stuff just to like play around with this a little bit. So for me so far, what's been interesting, and I need to like research this a little bit more, I found it limiting only in the sense that the very first thing that I tried, it was like, oh, I can't do that. But it gave me helpful feedback that was like, there's actually no API currently that supports this. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. And so I obviously haven't like tested that a little bit more, but I was looking into publishing themes. So, working on themes with merchants, setting them up, was looking into how we could potentially publish a theme that's been set to draft. So like Launchpad does this now, but like from my understanding, Launchpad's going away. So for Plus merchants, when they can schedule whole themes, like for sales and different things like this or whatever, So I was like, okay, cool. Like let's set this up so we can just make it autopilot. Shopify is going to come out with something I think a little bit different with Rollout, which we'll talk about here in a little bit or whatever. But I thought it'd be an interesting use case. But it was like, hey, we can't actually do this, so you'd have to figure out a different way. So setting up maybe sections that you turn off and on or whatever would be the way to go.
And these apps that get created, they're hosted on Shopify too, right? So not only do you get the app generation, but you get all the back end infrastructure too.
Yep. Really, really interesting. So it's pretty neat. It's very complex with what it can do as far as that, complex but basic. So it's going to be like anything else. And so already some devs have talked about using it just to kind of get a feel for how it's being used. Like we'll talk about that a little bit because we asked for feedback from Shopify dev community, and I only had a couple of people respond. So those couple of people, like we're gonna surface that or what have you.
In their defense, we only gave them like 24 hours. So
that's right. Well, we had about that much time. Unfortunately, we had somebody else scheduled, and they weren't feeling well, and so we had to kind of pivot a little bit, which is okay because it's kind of interesting to go over this stuff a little bit more. So workflow automations, Sidekick can build stuff for you in Shopify Flow. This is really cool. I think super useful for merchants as well. Again, like it's kind of something you're going to have to tweak a little bit, but it's actually pretty decent at how well it does on this. So very, very interested there. More stuff on analytics, building out segmentations. Sidekick can do that. That's super cool. So this is another thing that's really interesting. So Sidekick before has been able to kind of build out like new blocks for you, right? But now it can actually modify existing sections. Which is really, really interesting. Haven't played around with this a little bit. People have talked about some limitations here with being able to like refine your prompts a little bit more to get some specifics. But very interesting that you can now use Sidekick to do some small tweaks. So very helpful for merchants who need just like small one-offs that a lot of us don't want to have to jump into a store to do anyways. So I think this would be really helpful.
I'm very curious to play with stuff like this because I have not done much with the AI support for theme customizations in Shopify. But when I have tried to use AI to do anything visual, I have found it to be a very frustrating experience. So I'm curious how well this works. But
it's been interesting for sure when it comes to like how well it does or does not work in some instances. And like anything else, I think you just have to make sure to play around with it. Sometimes you just have to scrap the whole thing and start over, when it doesn't give you what you want. And that I think is the time invested is always the frustrating, like how much time do I spend on trying to make this method work? So other couple of cool things in here. So you can prompt Sidekick to like change image backgrounds, add or remove elements, like even create images for you. Lots of cool stuff there. That was something that Jake Casto pointed out. We'll cover that here in a little bit as well. This is cool too. Sidekick can handle prompts into reusable skills, which I thought was really interesting. So you can also share some specific ones as well. This is really neat. I would like to try this here. I just haven't had a chance yet. And they've got this really cool kind of like bubble effect where, you're hovering around looking at these and it kind of gives you more info, and you can try it with Sidekick right off the bat. Very, very cool. Again, just visually very, very awesome how they threw a lot of this stuff together. So, burp. Well, this is interesting. I didn't see that before. What was that one?
For those listening, Taylor's clicking on something.
I saw a little. Where'd it go? Oh, just get some. If you want the emojis used, apparently it's like in a little packet here. I don't know if I'm still sharing my screen here.
You are, yeah.
Oh man,
I saw those open folders. I know.
Oh, okay. Is it? Oh, it didn't show my desktop. I was like, oh no.
I showed your download folder or whatever that was.
Man, let me see here.
It was marvelous, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll have to make sure there wasn't any client stuff in there. So there are some. You can get the emojis basically from this little deal here. Let me see if I can't drag this into.
And you did that by clicking. Is that a poop emoji? I can't quite see.
I think it's like, what is this? What?
Looks like a Hershey kiss or the poop emoji. Oh no, you gotta zoom in. Is that a turkey?
I don't think it's a turkey.
There's no hover on it. It's not ARIA compliant.
Let's take a look.
We're going deep. We're opening the dev console, people. We must know what this emoji is.
There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. What is this supposed to be? Party in Slack like it's $14.99 is the ARIA label.
Okay.
I don't know what this is, but that's awesome. I didn't see that the other day when we were going through this. There's a whole bunch of like cool like little Easter eggs here. So I definitely didn't catch all of them even yesterday. So definitely check that out. That's fun. Just discovered that here while we were talking. And as you're scrolling again, there's just so many cool visual things. I think that's one of the interesting things about this site, right? Is I'm interested in all of the functional stuff I can use with merchants, but you can literally spend so much time just scrolling around here, interacting with stuff. There's just so much to unpack here. It's really, really cool. So more stuff on agentic commerce, selling directly with AI bots, or chats, I'm sorry, built-in tools. This is really cool. I don't want to go too much into this because I feel like they've been hitting that hard on all the socials. I don't think there's a whole lot to be done here, but like, look at this. Like as you're scrolling, you see this person's like, they're kind of like playing around with this, with their paintbrush over here in the corner, like this artwork that's in the background. Just like the level of detail that they threw into this is just incredible. So one of the things that I'm excited about here,
monitor too.
Look at that. Yeah, code on the monitor while painting with the other hand. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So being able to validate store changes with A/B testing, an AI tool that simulates shopping behavior. So rollouts is super interesting here. You can schedule theme changes, what I was like trying to get it to do already, right? An A/B test with rollouts built directly into the admin. You will need to sign up to be notified on this. This is not available today. There's a handful of these things that are just, they're not available at all today. You need to get notified or sign up. The app that they have here next, if you continue to scroll here, SimGym, it's available on the App Store, but you download it and you just have to sign up for the wait list. That's all you can do currently. But the prompt here, for those of you that aren't actually like watching this with us, is you can simulate shopper behavior with AI agents. So the idea would be you can test out like a ton of different changes before ever exposing those changes on your store to customers. So this being super helpful. I think I'm really interested to see how they're doing this. Just again, really, really neat.
Did you see some of the conspiracy theory sort of posts about this on Twitter yesterday?
Yes. Yep.
Who knows?
Yep. Yeah. So there's, I think, I don't know. I don't know how if you want to get into that, but there are a lot of conspiracy theories about that. Just high level. I don't know, man. I'm very pro Shopify, so I know they're using that data for other things too. Obviously, I think anybody that's using AI is doing that. But you know, I don't think that's necessarily nefarious or what have you, right? Shopify is just always like making things better for merchants. So I'm a fan for how they're handling a lot of this stuff. You can generate themes from your phone.
I like the name too.
Store details. SimGym. I know. I'm not gonna lie to you, the first time I heard people saying it, I thought they were saying Slim Jim, and I was like, that's not a problem, you know? So you know, I was just hungry at the time or whatever. Although I'm not a Slim Jim fan, honestly, but they have some really cool artwork with it too. So it's cool. So they cover a whole lot of other things here from online that have come to fruition over the course of this. So these were other updates. If you continue to check that out, you can. That's interesting. This is another one that's interesting, but I just don't really understand. I don't think. Tinker, did you take a look at this at all? So
I did not.
The information for this is an app where entrepreneurs can play with the latest AI tools in a single place. And so you need to sign up to get notified. And I need to I guess, research this a little bit more, but there's just like a playground that Shopify is going to expose for that essentially to test things out. So that's interesting. Say what you would like about that. Can I skip retail? I don't know anybody that does. I don't work with anybody in retail stuff. So POS got some upgrades.
Well, POS got some upgrades. There's
obviously some beautiful artwork here, right? You know, and again, like you wanna try to like play around with this site because it's just so cool. Like while you're continuing to go around, like you're scrolling and then like they're installing this little new little POS thing
Look
here
at that.
for it. It's very cool. Everything in here just moves around still. So again, just beautiful from the artwork perspective. A lot of these effects, I don't know. Have you ever played Assassin's Creed, the video game? No? Okay.
I'm a serious
So
developer. I don't play video games, Taylor.
this gives me hardcore Assassin's Creed vibes for how they do a lot of these fade outs, like where he kind of goes through different parts of time and all this other stuff or what have you. So if you have, I'm curious if that's like some of the inspiration because it looks really really good. So we'll continue to scroll here. There's just like a lot of cool stuff in here. Um, they break
Wow,
down.
they
They've
put
got this cool
a lot into this.
a
Look
lot
at that. That's
all this
crazy.
time. Look at that. They do a little breakdown of the POS unit here, which is cool. But then also in the background, where it's looking at
Doves
like
are
the
flying.
ceiling, the doves are flying. Which is so cool. All the level of detail that they have into like all these different pieces here is just
I
insane.
bought a Christmas card with doves on it today. That's ironic right there.
Oh man,
No,
they've got your number.
It's Christmas.
So very cool stuff. We're continuing to scroll here and just like some cool stuff happening in the background. We're in the marketing category now. This is something I know. So Liam Griffin has talked a lot about how like he's pretty excited about Shopify Product Network, and a couple of other folks as well. I think Harley specifically called this out as well on socials and stuff about just being really excited about this. So I think this feels like kind of like Collective but on steroids. And Collective is now available like in I think everywhere as well, where you can surface other shops' products specifically in here. So it's pretty neat. You can bring it up in search collections, post purchase, and you can earn commissions on sales. Right now, the Shopify Product Network is US only. So definitely check it out. Super interesting. Some of these other agentic commerce kind of type things, or the catalog API and stuff like that is kind of like what this makes me think of as well. Again, like just pulling in all these products and this idea more of like a global catalog, which is cool because if you're a shop, maybe that can like you're really focused on one specific thing, but you want to make sure people that you're working or customers that you're trying to serve get maybe other like related type products that you don't carry and you don't want to have to deal with shipping, fulfillment, and all this other stuff or what have you kind of type thing. Like you can just like promote their stuff and you can start getting sales from there. So turning your attention into a sales driver and stuff like that could be really helpful.
That is
That's
interesting. This one, do you have to do anything to enable that, or is everyone defaulted in to that being a possibility?
So this, at least Shopify Product Network, is an app that they have. So
Okay.
this would be something that you would have to do. I think we had talked about the catalog API specifically.
Yeah.
I think that is
got
everyone's
confused.
auto opted in. You have to opt out, which will be interesting how they handle that and stuff too here in the future. Because yeah, you obviously wouldn't want people like selling in channels that you don't want stuff sold in. So
Right.
there's that. So again, continuing to scroll here. So here's another little Easter egg. If you didn't see this, okay. Oh, like
Okay.
you can click on this hat and you can buy this
And
sweet
buy it?
beanie. I already got one. Did you get one?
Did like buy one with my own money?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That color?
No,
Are you kidding me?
yeah, I didn't get one. I bought it. I'm just a sucker for the editions merch, the supply merch and stuff. I'm a sucker for it. Can't help it. But they made it only 1452 and then they've got these cool Roman numerals. So this is supposed to be, I think Da Vinci's birthday is 1452 is what they said. That's why they made it this price. So pretty neat. Again, very, very cool. And so they've got more effects in it too. They even have this nice thing where if you click on the beanie, it's, the beanie's still the pink real thing or whatever, but everything else is kind of like this, like washed out white.
Yeah.
So it really promotes specifically the call out for purchase here. So really well done there.
They picked a color
Yeah.
that doesn't go with anything.
That's why they did it. Stands out.
I'm fashion challenged, Taylor. I can't really do this well, and so I need like lots of neutrals in my life.
I
just
don't
like
either. I tell everyone I'm not colorblind. I'm just color dumb. So it doesn't bother me.
It's the
Like,
concussions. Just blame it on the concussions.
that's what it is. No, I've always been color dumb. So that's I'll wear one of these and I don't doesn't matter to me. I'll wear it with you're not supposed to wear like red or orange with pink or something like that. Maybe I don't know. Like I won't even think twice about it. I'll wear an Ohio State shirt with a pink beanie. Let's do it.
But you have to get it and let me know how it feels. Maybe it's worth, I don't know. Of course, it could be cheaper than any other beanie you could get right now.
it's gonna be worth it. Yeah, I would say from cost factor alone, and it's free shipping, so 14.52. You know they're taking a bath on this, so
I may not be a man
more
of
stuff.
principle, but I am a man of good deals.
That's right. I'm with you there, my friend. So more fun stuff here for personalized shop button. It'll show the last 4 digits of a customer's saved card to appear on the shop pay button, which is kind of handy, I think. You know, just to make sure it's like, this is the card that I want or whatever. So some neat things there, some more fun pay stuff there. We're continuing to scroll here, and they have this awesome globe. You can grab the globe, kind of spin it around. That's cool, right?
So here's my beef with the
Ooh.
globe. Like, they make it look like an old-fashioned globe, but the
Yeah.
map is very, very accurate.
Yeah. I mean, so you think it should be flat, is what you're saying? Is that...
No, it just, like glob. You know
For
how
the
the old
time.
maps looked, where like Michigan was just like, I don't know. So,
well, it's a lot
but
of
it's
the
very
old with the new, right? You know, that's why they had the guy painting with a a code pulled up on the other corner here. But again, like these
that's because
people
he
in
was
the
a
background,
Renaissance man.
attention to detail, like they're blinking and stuff. This is so cool. So yeah, some stuff for inventory. If you're excited about that, that's cool. I don't really have much to say about that, other than they did launch this here. Heat maps and analytics and bot filtering and analytics. I thought that was super great. That was something that they launched. That's not new. That's something that they launched over since the previous edition. So this is part of the 100 plus, 150 plus, or whatever that we're looking at as far as that goes. Being able to cancel workflow runs in Flow, that's also very handy. I love pretty much everything that they're building into Flow and use it for a lot of stuff for merchants. So I'm very, very excited about all those things. So continue to scroll in here. They've got some cool changes for the Shop app. So obviously Shop Minis and a bunch of other things coming in through here. Shoppable videos now with Shop, and AI can even optimize their distribution with built-in rankings and recommendations. That's kind of interesting. I'm not really sure, but being able to handle all that stuff is very, very cool. So now continue to scroll, and you've got like this guy, and open up a little Shopify laptop here. That's cool, a lot of stuff. Again, just the attention to detail on this stuff is just wild. Here it is. Shopify Collective is available globally now. So that is akin to what we're talking about with Product Network, but like it's specific where people are surfacing other specific products from other brands and stuff to sell. And so very, very neat for that. ACH payments for B2B, except ACH bank payments at checkout with Shopify Payments. This is handy because I think up until this point, like we've been using other apps for this. So I thought that was really, really cool that this is now capable as well. A lot of good stuff. What's that?
Unless you own one of those other apps, then it's not so cool. But yes, for all the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I think this is just like anything else. Like Shopify provides baseline functionality, and there's going to be a bunch of people that like it doesn't work. So obviously like being able to accept ACH payments through Shopify Payments is going to also require like or be an instance where maybe if you're not selling something that's eligible for Shopify Payments, like there's all sorts of different categories that falls into. So those apps are still have plenty to do, and they also typically provide a little bit more than the baseline functionality that Shopify is going to provide for stuff. So good call out though. More stuff in here. Store credit for B2B. That's really cool from different companies and stuff. So here's more. I'm always like scrolling and trying to like click on stuff, I'm like, give me the things. This is cool. But again, more cool stuff. Financial tools. Nice. Fun stuff. So this is... All right, I'm going to see if I can get this to work. Okay, so right now we've scrolled into the shipping section. And off in the corner, this is a key. Okay? And there's a little lock with this little cheetah fleet on the back of this cheetah. Both cool and ridiculous. But you're supposed to be able to, like, I think, drag this key, maybe? I could not get this to work properly. Everybody was talking about it. Okay, I clicked on it. See, so here's what's happening. Where I click on it, and some people can get this just to open up. It must be some settings that I have on my computer or something. But I click on it, and it opens into a totally different tab. So what this is supposed to do is you're supposed to be able to just, like... Oh, I'm sorry. Like right now, it's Shopee's like dancing around. So Shopify's mascot Shopee, but it's in gold. Yeah, there's a gold skateboard. But So this is supposed to like open up with a small window over top the existing. And as you scroll, I'll see these coins are now coming out of this.
You
of this
opened it
cheetah
somehow.
little. I've opened it. You're supposed to like have to like drag this key over and open it. And yeah, my little guy went away here with this little thing. But you're supposed to be able to scroll the whole page, and it has this cool effect. I could never get it to work on my. I'm assuming some kind of like desktop setup I have here. If I've got somebody that has a cool scroll option that shows this in effect, but you can see here it was capturing my scroll. You can see I scrolled way up on the other page here just based on this scroll. So there's something here. I'm trying to scroll. Maybe I'll scroll all the way back to the top and see if it does anything. It's like tracking my scroll at least, but it's not doing it in a way that I can get it to work. So I don't know. Maybe you
If
can
you
get it to
double
work on
click
your
on the
machine.
key,
Okay.
it opened up a separate window for me with the window title of key. And then I drag the window itself, and it shows what's behind the window, which is the main. And then you put the key over the lock and unlock. Did you do it?
Well,
no, you double click.
Like I said, I'm double clicking. I'm just single clicking. I'm double clicking.
What is that?
I can't do it. It can't do it. It does not work on my machine. It does not work on my machine. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. I wish it could work. I'm super excited for this. I cannot get this to work on my machine. I've got some kind of weird bork settings. Yeah, if you can, you do it. You do it. Let me stop my screen share.
All right. Do you see the whole thing now?
I borked some settings. I see the whole thing.
Okay, do you see this?
Yes. Woo!
So then
cooking with gas, baby. Let's do it. Cool, look at that. Bam. Now you can scroll on the page and see it has this like, I don't know what you would call this, like
black
glow
light
in the dark
effect. Yeah.
Black light effect. Yes. Look, there's Shopee, but you can actually scroll the actual main page with this window up, and you can see stuff behind it. And so I think that there's more Easter eggs using this view. But again, because I couldn't get this to work on my machine, I was not able to experience this. Other people were like,
how on earth
sent me a little screenshot.
How on earth are they doing this? That's crazy.
I know, it's super cool, right? So I hope that they talk about this specifically, and also maybe then I'll figure out why I can't get it to work on my computer.
Well, it's weird too that it not only didn't work, but it did something completely different on your computer.
Yeah, it's odd. Right, so maybe we can get someone from Mothership there to reach back out, so that way they can be like, "This is what you're doing wrong, dummy."
Hey, jerks.
Okay, so very cool. And then obviously here's the developer stuff. So we talked about a lot of these with Aton. So I don't necessarily want to rehash a lot of this stuff necessarily. Again, especially if we're getting a little bit longer here. Now I'm skimming. So I don't
You're doing great,
need to really do that. Oh, thank you, Karl. That's
You're showing a lot of
restraint kind of you. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. I'm trying not to spend too much time on stuff.
Past stuff like building with MCP support, the faster bulk operations, the
yes, a lot of stuff that we already talked about with Aton. So go back and watch that episode. If we're scrolling through the stuff that we've already covered, because Aton was generous enough to actually sit down with us and go over some of this stuff, which was really cool.
That was nice of him.
Yes, and so here's a big call out that I want to make sure that we talked about, because we did not. I kind of glazed over this earlier or whatever, but Shopify functions are going to be replacing scripts in 2026, June 2026. What? Hardcore
for real
date
this
cutoff.
time.
Gone. Like it's here, it's in print, it's not going anywhere. So Shopify Functions, the text here says Shopify Functions will replace scripts with faster execution and increased parity for a safer migration. So June 2026. Mark your calendars. Now, here is the big thing too. This was a big call out that we want to make sure that everybody is aware of, has on their radar, that came up in this editions as well. So the call out here is enhanced security with token expiry. So we're going to be using expiring tokens to make your app more secure with OAuth 2.0 compliant token refresh, including programmatic exchange for existing non-expiring tokens. So all that is to say, you're going to have to start figuring out this flow with expiring tokens. So that's not been the case before,
hasn't it?
Historically, necessarily for all. At least my understanding. This is everybody's talking about this being a big deal. I'm not an app dev, so everybody else is very not unhappy, but like it's going to cause a bunch of extra work, and like it's going to be, from my understanding, per store potentially where this happens. So there's a whole lot of back and forth about making sure this doesn't expire.
We're
So
gonna
for
have
you
to.
people that are smart enough to go into this, Karl, like you're going to have to look at this. This needs to be on your radar.
I have to double check this because I'm pretty sure, like with the app that I started working on last year, like from get go, like we were doing this where the auth token for each store was stored, but it was constantly being refreshed and expiring. And but maybe there's more. I'll have to double check.
Maybe, or maybe this impacts more like legacy apps that have been around for longer, right? Like that didn't necessarily have this per se. So maybe that was like a old legacy thing. I'm not sure. So if you do know, comment on the video or add us on socials and let us know why we don't know what we're talking about here. But that's definitely a thing. So, let me see here. Discount code rejections with Shopify functions. So being able to reject discount codes. I thought that was fun. You can also have an associated custom message displayed at checkout. So right now I know that's like there's some oddities around like functions and discount codes and like being able to like properly reject stuff. Like we used to be able to do a lot more in line with scripts. I'm sorry. Like being able to call out like a specific line item, like, hey, like this actually we're excluding this from that. So I think that this is what we're talking about here. Maybe some better options there for that. And then obviously some more fun stuff here. The liquid support for Shopify Dev MCP. We talked about that too a ton as well. So I don't think we need to like dig super heavy into that. Again, whole bunch of other additional options and fun stuff in here. These were a lot of things that launched here, like the unlisted product status, nested cart line items, or nested cart lines. So those sorts of things. New code editor for themes and stuff like this. A lot of this stuff was already like launched, but good to rehash or overview here if you want to see a lot of the cool stuff that shipped, maybe that you potentially missed. So there's a lot of other fun little Easter eggs in here too and stuff. So we didn't obviously cover everything. The site's beautiful, really well done by this team. Obviously took a ton of like effort, and so definitely spend some time on it if you haven't had a chance to. Just from a developer perspective, there's so many things where I'm like, how in the heck are they doing this?
Have you tried it on mobile at all?
Like, wow. I've only played around with it a little bit on mobile, so it still looks great on mobile. Obviously, you don't have as many interactions because you don't have things like hover effects and stuff like this or what have you, but still looks phenomenal on mobile.
Awesome. Thanks for walking us through all that, Taylor. It was helpful to get an overview.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to share. I say I called this out specifically. We talked about this where we asked for feedback, and so I want to make sure that we covered some of the feedback that we got from people.
Yeah.
So here, we were talking about some of the cool stuff that Sidekick can do that I didn't even realize. So Jake pointed out like Sidekick can make memes, which was really cool. So you can prompt Sidekick specifically for this. He's got this meme on here that says, my grandpa climbed out of the primordial soup so I could stare at Shopify all day, and it's got this, like weird dinosaur looking thingy over here or whatever. And so it's fun. Some of the stuff that you can do here. And then I also had a comment, I think from, whoops, I'm not using the right keyboard commands here. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. All right, I'm not going to share that apparently because I think I lost my place on that. But I also got a comment too from Bailey Passerk. We were talking about Sidekick app generator being really interesting with some of the stuff that you could do. Some devs being concerned about, Sidekick's going to take our jobs, or whatever. Bailey talked about using this here a little bit as well, just to kind of like test and play around with, because he's in the process of building an app specifically. And he said that, it was good, but, it's going to help solve some small pain points for merchants. And so the app that he's working on, he basically said he started over using Sidekick to get it there like faster. And so some of the features weren't necessarily available, but the UI that it came up with was way better than what he was currently working with. So he implemented the Sidekick version of it into his existing app. So using Sidekick now, so app devs using Sidekick now to actually improve their own workflows, because Sidekick is trained obviously in the way that Shopify wants things built. And so it's going to maybe kick out a quick UI. So shout out to, if you need help building UIs, to Alex and Desi. So Desi.app, we had him on and we talked about that. And it's obviously an incredible tool. So maybe you could use this in combination with something like, what Sidekick is giving you to get through just building out some of those screens faster as well. I think that would be really interesting. So Bailey's specific use case that he referenced, his app was kind of like letting users compare templates that are assigned to products and collections to see what they might be missing. So potentially being like really, really helpful there with how that works. So thanks, Bailey, for the feedback. That's really helpful to actually get people using this stuff. Very cool.
That is useful. Now, see, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do my Rails app so I can have some JavaScript front end stuff if I want it, because this sort of thing is hard to pass up on.
Yeah, right, for sure. There's a lot of good posts on Twitter or X from folks over at Shopify. Shopify Dev's account did do like a Winter 26 edition developer updates breakdown as well. So we'll include all that in the show notes. Some of the things obviously I want to make sure to call out. Eitan like shared a thread specifically, like we'll make sure to include that. He pointed out like this really cool series of updates. We talked about Flow getting a cool update. But it also gives you these cool insights to how like the workflow runs. So you can get a dry run testing it to make sure to see how the flow executes. I thought that was really helpful, both for me and for merchants. So pretty excited about that piece. Flow really got glazed over, I feel like, in this editions, which is odd because there's a lot of cool stuff for Flow. So there's that. Ben Sale also has a good post talking about a little bit more about rollout, so what that's going to look like. So that's with the scheduled launches, gradual rollouts, A/B testing, all built in kind of type thing. And he talked a little bit about it, answered some good questions about like how it's going to be leveraged. So it's going to be server-side A/B testing without client-side scripts, which is really helpful and a potential benefit over maybe some of the like current options that are available. Also going to have things like markets overrides and different things. So there's some good feedback there if you're really interested in rollouts. And then as far as Ben goes, he posted two really fast, like while we're all watching this like editions drop or whatever, that he like picked up this beanie or whatever. He just posted a screenshot of the RenAIssance edition of like a confirmation, like, or whatever, and he put first, which again feels like cheating. I'm gonna call him out a little bit on the podcast. I mean, so that's feels like cheating, Ben.
Yeah,
just saying. So, but it was still cool. That's fun. There were even people on the team that designed it. So Jay, I just don't know like his actual like full name necessarily, but he's like an amazing designer that Shopify picked up. Used to be at like Google, Vercel, all this other stuff. And so he shares some super helpful information, but Shopify picked him up sometime this year or whatever, but he even posted something about it being in before him and he knew it was there. So Ben must have like just like dropped in and like scrolled furiously to find this because he had the insider info, so but either way, I'll let you know how the beanie is. Maybe I'll wear it for the next one if I get it in time.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, that's all the edition stuff. I'm sorry, that's so much stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to contain myself because it's all changelog, and it's amazing. But
it's like Christmas came early for Taylor.
It did. I got to talk about changelog in one of the earlier episodes, and now I get to talk about like editions, which is just like a giant series of like really well done changelog announcements.
And tonight you get to sleep in a camper. I mean, what else could a man want?
Oh, maybe we'll sleep in the camper. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, man. We'll see.
Anyway, amazing. Well, thanks for walking us through that. And there's tons of information out there about all this sort of stuff. So we'll include the links that we mentioned. The Quickly newsletter came out just before this reaches you, so I had some more links in there as well. And I'm sure we'll be talking about this for more time to come because there's a lot to process. But share your thoughts. Yeah. Find Taylor and I on Twitter if you've been doing something cool, finding something that's been super helpful, interesting to you. We'd love to hear about it. Love to spread the word about what to look out for. So
we would
do that. Yeah.
And we're at an hour. Are we just dropping right into our picks? That's
Well,
you know.
you had intimated earlier, like, maybe there's something on the changelog I really do want to share, even though the whole episode is basically changelog. Is there something?
I did.
Okay.
Didn't I?
So,
Well, so I think I
in
can't
the
remember
holiday
if I
spirit, I'll let you share it if you'd like to.
Well, I can't remember if I already touched on these or not. So let me. Oh, I just thought it was interesting. This was something that was good for app devs. There's now you're able to monitor admin performance issues by region with with the Web Vitals API. So that was really exciting. I do know that there's other stuff in here that's going to be some like action required type stuff that y'all need to pay attention to as well. So I did want to just like throw out some other positives there, based on all that stuff. But the rest of it, yeah, y'all are gonna need to check the changelog because there's so much stuff in here. There's so much stuff in here. We could do a whole nother episode just going through all this stuff. The changelog was just chirping off the other day, so check the changelog, guys and gals.
Check the changelog. All right. Well, then
Midwest
with that, we
guys,
will
everyone
transition to the third half of the show, which will be our picks of the week. I actually have two, I realized.
Can you do that?
So, it's my show, so yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right, we'll allow it, right?
Pick number one. It's a book called Endurance by F.A. Worsley. This is the story of the Shackleton expedition to the Antarctic continent and South Pole there, where they got stuck in the sea ice, and the ship, I don't want to ruin it, but you hope not figured it out by now, the ship sank. And somehow, through a series of miracles, they all managed to make it home. But it's an amazing story. I found it funny because I got this book from the library, and I thought, I think I've already read this book. But I hadn't. There's another very good one, similarly titled, about the same expedition. It's very good. But this one, F.A. Worsley was actually the captain of the ship. He was Shackleton's sort of right-hand man. And so he wrote this after the fact from his journals and diaries. And so it's a very first-hand account and very well written and interesting read.
You're so well
Nothing
read.
like snuggling up on a cold winter night to reading about men stuck on the ice shelf. Yeah.
Just maybe some good frame of reference there of at least I'm not stuck somewhere out on an ice shelf.
Exactly. There's a lot of that. People, anyway, our lives are so easy. My second one is call out to Kurt Elster and Paul Rita, Ethercycle, because they kept telling me about this show called The Pit, which in my mind, for some reason, I equated it to like, this must be like a stock trading show, like The Pit, like a trading pit kind of thing. But no, it's not. It's like an ER reboot, but it's way better. And actually stars Noah Hathaway, if you remember ER. That was like 30 years ago. But it's about the ER Pitt Medical Center there in Pittsburgh. And man, it's really good. It's such a good show. I have to save it because I work out faster to this show because it makes me so nervous.
You got the anxiety going on like, oh gosh.
And the time just goes so quick. So, and the second season is coming out in January. So if you have not watched it yet, you got time to get in there before the next one drops, and the satisfaction of continuing right on. So those are my two picks.
Nice, great. I'm kind of disappointed you didn't go ahead and go with a third. And for those of you that didn't notice or didn't see, like Karl is also wearing Shox headphones, but he claims that he doesn't like them and that they're not as good as he had.
I meant to return them,
so.
And I hadn't gotten around
to it. But they
to
saved
it.
the day today. Your other headphones
AirPods
weren't
didn't
working.
work. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Anyway,
Shout out to Shox.
if they want to sponsor us, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it. I'll reach out to my contacts there. As my pick, okay, I'm also going to be a man of culture today and talk about
Finally.
Audiobooks more so, or ebooks and all this other stuff. So have you ever heard of Everand? So it's an app or what have you, but they have just like a whole collection of audiobooks, ebooks, podcasts, and all sorts of things. So it is a like membership subscription based service. I had never heard of this until they had some kind of promotion on Strava, so the running app, running and workouts and stuff or whatever. But I did one of their challenges. I don't even remember which one, and I actually won some swag. So they earned a shout out for me just for this. But I also got like a free month of their service, which was really cool too. So they've got a good collection of books, and audiobooks are hard for me, just because like I'm not very good at the listening aspect and ingesting information. I do listen and ingest information, but I can't really like process information at the same time. I process the information that I listen to later, and so like
Like a cow just chewing its cud.
it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Yeah, basically, yeah. That's a really great analogy there. So I am trying it. They have a good collection of like business books. So if you're into that, I've gotten a little bit bored. I've been reading personally more like science fiction books. I find those really enjoyable to read. But as far as the business books, I still want to like learn and get better and, further my knowledge and all this other stuff or what have you. And so I'm trying out the audiobooks thing and it's going great. So, but they sent me this cool hoodie because I won this little thing here. It's a nice hoodie. It's like a Nike hoodie and everything. I got a hat too, but I had to wear my Shopify hat for this today. So, thanks Everend, and it's a cool service. If you're looking for audiobooks and all this other stuff.
Is it akin to like an Audible? Is that like same idea?
I think so, yeah.
Different.
So,
okay, interesting.
yeah. And like a lot of the content looks similar to what you'd find there. So I think they're a little bit on the pricey side, if I can be somewhat, negative or critical.
Well, I gotta pay for those free sweaters.
Gotta pay for these sweatshirts that they're sending out. Yeah, absolutely. It is a cool service. They have a good selection. I mean, I know some people are like super anti-Amazon, and so they're like, I'm not going to do Audible or whatever. So if you're looking for an alternative to that, it has. So I will say, like, their app is actually like very nice to use compared to like, I don't know, Kindle and trying to find stuff between like your Prime subscription, your Kindle subscription, and Audible and all this other stuff or whatever. Like their apps and even web interfaces are just like really atrocious. They're not enjoyable to use. It's a nice app. So like if that is something that you are really into from that perspective, I think you will find it like much more pleasing to use or what have you. And so they're definitely worth a check for that and stuff as well.
Excellent. Well, I'll check that out right after I finish reading my book. Anyway, you have done it. You've wasted another perfectly good hour you could have spent coding, listening to Taylor and I yammer on the Liquid Weekly podcast. Thanks for joining us today. Taylor, it's good to see you as always. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Happy hacking!